So for this first child's pose, bring your big toes together, your knees wide, forehead down, and stretch your arms away from you. And take a couple deep breaths to settle in here. Checking in with your body, noticing how it feels this morning. Start to connect to your Ujjayi pranayama, breathing in and out through the nose. So lightly constricting the back of your throat so you can hear the sound of your breath. And make your inhales, exhales a little bit longer so you can ideally try to keep that long inhale, long exhale throughout the practice and use that breath to really set the pace. Walk your hands to the right side of the mat, placing the left hand on top of the right. And then walk it to the other side, to the left side, right hand on top of the left. And bring it to center, coming up to a tabletop position to your hands and knees. Inhale, drop the belly, arch your back, gaze up, cow pose. And exhale, tuck your chin in and round your back for cat. Warming up your spine here. Inhale as you arch. Exhale as you round. One more time. Inhale to arch. Exhale to round. After your last one, find a neutral spine in the middle. Take your right arm and peel it up. Thread the needle stretch. Thread it all the way through. Put your head down. Walk that left hand forward. Maybe crawl it a little bit to the right. Start to open up your shoulders and your upper back. Walk it back in, tabletop position. Switch sides. Take your left arm up and thread it through. And find that thread the needle stretch on this side. And bring it back up again to tabletop position. Opposite arm and leg. Right arm extends forward. Left leg reaches back. Finding your balance. Exhale, pull your knee and elbow in to touch or as close as you can get them. Inhale to extend and reach. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, extend. One more time. Knee to elbow. And then extend it out, and maybe going for that back bend. Since we're going to do back bends today, bend the leg, right hand tries to grab that left foot and kick it back. Good, stretch it back out, place it down, and switch sides. Left arm, right leg. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale to extend it out. One more time, pull it in, knee to elbow, and then extend, and then try to bend the leg, grab the foot, and kick it back for that little back bend on this side. Stretch it out, place it down, and then we'll start to move into our first downward facing dog. Plant your hands shoulder width, tuck your toes, lift your hips up, move around a little bit in that first down dog, bend one leg at a time, stretch the calves, hamstrings, maybe one elbow at a time, and just check in, see how your body's feeling today. Starting to work those shoulders away from the ears, press your chest back a little more, pushing those heels closer to the floor. Walk your feet to the front, ragdoll, feet stay hips width, bend your knees a lot and grab opposite elbows, letting yourself hang here. Maybe shake your head yes, shake it no, relax your neck, sway a little bit side to side or forward and back. Anything that feels good here. Releasing your hands, roll yourself up to stand. Good. When you get to the top, lift those arms all the way up. Your right hand is going to grab the left wrist and pull it to the right for a standing side body stretch. And switch, your left hand grabs the right wrist, pull it to the left. And then bring it to center, interlace the fingers behind your lower back, or you can use a strap here. Inhale, look up, open your chest and your shoulders. Exhale, bend your knees a little bit. Start to fold forward, keeping the hands interlaced. Release the clasp of your hands. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, step to plank, and let's modify the first chaturanga by bringing your knees to the floor, hugging your elbows in and lowering down. Untuck your toes. Inhale, cobra pose. Lift just the chest and try to float your hands off the floor for the first one. So really light in the hands. Good, lower down. Now we're gonna do it again, but we're gonna go up a little higher. So lift about halfway up now for cobra. So elbows bent, roll your shoulders back. Now there's gonna be a little more weight in the arms. Good, lower down. One more time. Now we come all the way up. Maybe straightening the arms, maybe not, right? Because cobra can be a lot on the lower back. You might keep a little bend in those elbows. Good, lower down. Push up to your knees, to your modified plank. Then tuck your toes, come back to down dog. Lift the right leg up, step it forward to a low lunge. Drop your back knee down. Start with your hands on that right thigh. So sinking into that left hip flexor. So back bends are a lot of different things. Sometimes if the hip flexor's tight, that can limit our back bends. Sometimes it can be the shoulders and the lats that are tight. So it's a lot of different things. Lift your arms up, gaze up, maybe press the palms together. Then lower your hands down for your half split, straightening the right leg. Flex that foot and fold over the right leg. Stretching into that right hamstring. Rebend the leg, bring your hands to the floor, step back to plank position. Now this time you can choose to drop to your knees or stay on your toes. Chaturanga, lower halfway and hug your elbows in. Then as you flip over the feet, maybe this time you're coming into upward facing dog, where your kneecaps and your thighs are off of the floor, but you're strongly pushing down through the tops of the feet and the hands here. Then you lift your hips, flip back over your feet, and go back to down dog. Lift the left leg up, step it forward to a low lunge. Drop your back knee down. Start with the hands on the thigh, start to sink into that hip flexor stretch on the right side. Maybe lift the arms up and the gaze up. Hands can be about shoulders width distance, or you can try to press your palms together. Lower the hands back down, half split, straightening the front leg, flexing the foot, folding over your left leg. Good, rebend that leg so you can plant your hands, step back to plank. From the toes or the knees, you choose chaturanga, low push up, halfway down. Inhale, either to up dog or cobra, choosing your back bend. Exhale, meeting in down dog. Walk your hands to the back of your mat, towards your feet. Bend your knees and roll up to stand. So you're at the back of your mat, your feet are hips width distance. Standing camel, Ustrasana. Trying to point your fingers up, but if that's uncomfortable for your wrists, you can point your fingers down like you're putting them in your imaginary back pockets there. So fingers pointing up or down, squeeze your elbows towards each other, squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other, and try to get taller here. Lift up through the sides of the waist, and then lift your chest up to the ceiling and push the hips forward. So it's a standing back bend. Again, we're still warming up, so it's not going to be your deepest back bend, but take a breath or two here. Good, slowly come up. Bend your knees, and then just roll yourself like all the way back down into a rag doll, keeping the knees bent and grabbing opposite elbows for a moment. Release the hands, walk them forward into your downward facing dog. Look forward, you can hop or step both feet to the front of the mat now, feet together. Inhale, lengthen to a flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive all the way up to stand. Exhale, hands come to heart center. We're going to do just one full sun A and one sun B today. Inhale, reach both arms up. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, lengthen to a flat back. And exhale, step or hop, chaturanga, low push up, halfway down, elbows hug in. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Then you look forward and hop or step right back to the front. Inhale, lengthen, flat back. Exhale to fold. Inhale, reverse, swan dive up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Now one, sun salutation B. Lift your arms up first, then bend your legs. Chair pose, Utkatasana, knees and feet together. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step or hop. Chaturanga, low push up. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. Lift the right leg up, step in between your hands. Warrior one, Virabhadrasana A. Pivot your back heel flat on the ground. Try to square the hips and lift the arms straight up to the ceiling. Exhale the hands to the floor. Step back, chaturanga, low push up. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Other side, lift the left leg up, step it forward. Warrior one, Virabhadrasana A. Again, back heel is flat, turned in a little bit to help you square your hips as you reach those arms straight up. Exhale the hands to the floor, chaturanga, low push up. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. Look forward, step or hop to the front. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, Utkatasana, chair pose. And then exhale, press to stand, mountain pose, Tadasana. Hands to heart center. Take a deep breath, reset here. Now we're gonna do that same standing camel. So open up your feet, hips width distance apart. Fingertips can point up or down. Squeeze your elbows and shoulder blades towards each other. Lift your chest up and then push the hips back as you start to, or push the hips forward as you start to lift your chest up. And just noticing how it feels. We're a little bit more warmed up now. Maybe you go a little bit further back. Good, when you're ready, slowly come up, bend your knees, and then just roll yourself back down. This time we'll set up for Padangusthasana. Peace fingers, hook onto your big toes. If it feels okay to straighten the legs, you can start to straighten them if your hamstrings feel ready for that. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold. Elbows out to the side. Relax your head and neck and pull yourself towards your legs. Now you can stay here longer if you want to just enjoy this stretch. If you want to practice your crow pose today, we're not going to do a lot of arm balances. So now's your chance if you want to play with it. Plant your hands shoulder width. Walk your feet back. Put your knees up high on those triceps. Bend your arms to make that little shelf. And then lean forward. Keep looking forward past the edge of the mat, not looking at your feet. The more you shift your body weight forward, the lighter those toes are going to get. And you're trying to get your kneecaps right into your armpits or as close as you can up there. Nice, you guys. Very good. These are getting stronger, right? And then each time, maybe you can hold it 1 second longer. Once you do get the hang of the pose, then we work on holding it longer. When you're done playing, just crawl yourself back into a child's pose, either with the knees wide or knees together, and take a few breaths to reset. Coming back into our downward facing dog. Lift your right leg up, open the hip and bend your leg, and maybe flip your dog by taking your right foot all the way down to the floor and then reach your right arm forward. Pivot all 10 toes to be facing the back wall or the back edge of your mat. Now when you're ready to go back over, look down, put your hand down and flip yourself back around to a three-legged dog with the right leg up. Good, step your right foot forward, warrior one again. Pivot that back heel down, square your hips to the front. Interlace the fingers behind your lower back or hold on to a strap here. Inhale, look up, open your chest. Exhale, bow forward, humble warrior. Right shoulder on the right thigh or just slightly to the inside of it till your head starts to get closer to the ground. But don't let that back heel come up. Keep that back heel glued down. Lift yourself all the way back up, warrior one. Open it up, warrior two. So now we have a wider stance, lining up heel to arch. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, modified or extended side angle. Right elbow to the thigh, or maybe right hand to the floor block. You might reach that left arm forward if that feels okay on the left shoulder. Come back up to warrior two. This time now we're going to reach it forward for half moon, Ardha Chandrasana. So start to walk your right hand forward about 6 to 8 inches, more towards the baby toe or the right corner of the mat, and then lift that left leg up. If you have a yoga block, you can always put your hand on the block if your hand doesn't reach the floor. Flexing that left foot, peeling that hip open, focusing the eyes to help you balance. Carefully start to bend your right leg, step back, warrior two, reset. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, windmill your hands to the front, step back, chaturanga, low push up. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. Lift your left leg up and open the hip and bend the leg. And we're going to start to think about flipping our dog, bringing that left foot to the floor. Pivot your right foot around, so all 10 toes face the back, and then you reach that left arm forward and you lift your hips up for that back bend. Very nice. Flip it back around to a three-legged dog with that left leg up. Step your left foot forward, warrior one, Virabhadrasana A. Interlace the awkward way behind your back, that opposite thumb on top from whatever you did on the first side. Inhale, look up, open your chest. Exhale, bow forward. Humble warrior. Big bend into that front leg. Come all the way back up, warrior one. And then open up your stance for warrior two, finding that heel to arch alignment, that deeper bend in the front leg. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale into modified or extended side angle. Left elbow to the thigh or left hand on the floor block, maybe extending that right arm straight forward. Lift back up to warrior two. Then set up for our half moon, Ardha Chandrasana. Walk that left hand forward, 6 to 8 inches or so, and a little bit off to the left. Flex that right foot and open up the hip, finding your balance here. Bend the left leg, step it back, warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, windmill the hands down, chaturanga, low push up. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Lift the right leg up, step it forward again to warrior one. And then this time we'll open it right up to warrior two. Inhale, reverse. And as you exhale, we're going back into our half moon again. Right hand down, left arm up. But this time, if you want, optional, but you can add a back bend by bending your left leg, taking your left hand, trying to grab the outside of that ankle and kick it back. It's going to feel like a dancer pose turned on its side. It's much more difficult to balance, so I like to keep the gaze down. And as you're kicking your leg away from you, think about pushing your chest forward. Those help to counterbalance each other. Good, let go, try to step back, warrior two. Whoop. Then we're gonna straighten the front leg for triangle. So walk that back foot in, just like an inch or two, adjust the feet so you have a nice stance for triangle. Shift the hips back, reach forward, right hand on the shin, ankle or foot, left arm up to the ceiling, Trikonasana. Lift back up and come back to warrior two. Adjust the feet, rebend that front leg. Inhale, reverse. Now as you exhale, windmill the hands down. Don't go to chaturanga. We're gonna go to lizard. So pop your back heel up and drop the knee down. Untuck the toes and then just wiggle your right foot all the way to the edge of the mat. So you can bring your hands or your elbows down on the inside of that foot for lizard pose. So getting a nice stretch into the hips here. Now come back up to the hands, then step back to your chaturanga, low push up, or skip it or modify it. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale to down dog. Lift the left leg up and step it forward. Warrior one, last time on this side, Virabhadrasana A. And then we'll open it up to warrior two. Inhale as you reverse, exhale into half moon. So first just set up your half moon, get your balance, and then if you want, you bend the leg and maybe just reach towards it. Maybe you can't grab it yet, but you can still balance there, or you might be able to find it with that hand and kick it back. Pushing the chest forward, kicking the leg back, finding that back bend, turned on its side. Let go if you are holding the foot, and then carefully bend your standing leg and step back to warrior two. And then straighten your front leg, walk your back foot in an inch or two for triangle. Shift the hips back, reach forward, and lightly place that hand on the leg or foot, and right arm straight up to the ceiling. Lift back up, come back to warrior two for a moment, adjust the feet and rebend that leg. Inhale as you reverse. Exhale, windmill the hands down to lizard. Drop your back knee down and untuck the toes. Just walk your left foot all the way to the edge of the mat and bring your hands or elbows down on the inside of that left foot to stretch into that left hip here. And come back up to your hands and then step your way back. Exhale to your chaturanga, low push up. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Bring your knees down. So now we're going to do camel from our knees. So we did a standing camel earlier. It's the same thing, but we're on our knees about hips width. Fingers can point up or down. Squeeze your elbows and shoulder blades towards each other. Lengthen the sides of the waist. Push your hips forward as you start to drop your chest back. Kneeling camel, Ustrasana. Then slowly come up. Now, we're just going to do it one more time. You can keep the hands on the lower back, or you can try to grab the heels. Okay, but if you do that, you still start with the hands on the lower back, and then as you get closer, you grab your heels and you try to push your hips forward. So we don't want to lean back. We want to take our hip bones and our quads and push them forward as we're also reaching for the heels. So one more time, hands to your lower back, lift up and back, maybe one or both hands to the heels, and then readjust, pushing the hips forward, lifting the chest up. Nice, Eva, very good. Now, if you did grab your heels when you're ready to come out, bring your hands back to your lower back one at a time, and then slowly come up. Good, and just sit down on your feet for a moment to let your spine reset. Good, walk your knees together. Bring your forehead down and your arms alongside you, child's pose. Now let's make our way back to downward facing dog. Step to the front, roll up to stand. So first we're going to do dancer without the strap, the normal one that we do a lot in our practice, not Trianjasana, but without the strap. So left arm goes up, right hand can go inside or outside of that right ankle, whichever is more comfortable for your shoulder or whichever one gives you a better stretch. Start with the knees together and then slowly lift that leg up. Focusing the eyes because it's a balance pose as well as a back bend. Take a couple breaths and then try the other side, right? Shake it out and you'll take the right arm up, the left hand to the inside of that left foot or ankle. And you might find one side is different. Sometimes the balance might be different on one side. Sometimes the back bend might be different on one side. Once you feel like you've evened out the sides, then if you have a yoga strap or a towel or a belt, you're going to put a little loop in it like this for your foot. So I put the loop in my right foot and I'm going to show you from the side. If it's in my right foot, I start with the strap on my right shoulder and then I bring my elbow up on my ear and I start to walk my hands one over the other down the strap as far as I can. Once I feel like I've gotten as far as I can, I kick my foot to the strap for a little tension to pull those elbows back and focus the eyes. And this will help you to one day get that overhead grip, right? You just keep walking, and then one day you get closer and closer to the foot. Now, if you don't have a strap or towel, or you don't want to do that variation, repeat the first one. Right hand to the right foot, left arm up, and hold. Good. Again, maybe take about 5 deep breaths, and then whichever variation you're doing, you're going to switch to the other side. If you're using the strap, you'll put the strap on the left foot. If you're not using the strap, you'll go back and repeat dancer on the other side with the hand, and maybe just going a little bit deeper, right? Sometimes doing the pose 2 times just helps you to get a little bit deeper into it. So find that left side, take about 5 breaths again on this side. And then once you feel like you've evened it out, whichever variation you are doing with or without the strap, once you've done both sides, then we'll meet in our mountain with the feet together and hands to prayer position at the top of the mat. So you can just take a couple deep breaths to let your spine reset from those back bends. Good. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, lengthen to a flat back, and then exhale, step back. Chaturanga, low push up. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. And now we are going to do basically the same thing from our pigeon. So lift the right leg up and bring that knee forward. Okay, set up like you're going to do pigeon, but keep your right foot pretty close to you. And if you don't have the strap, you're going to go left hand back to the left foot and just pull it in for more of a quad stretch. If you have the strap, the hardest part is sometimes just getting that little loop, throwing it on your foot. And it's on my left foot, so that means the strap's going to start in my left hand. It's the exact same shape I was doing in dancer. You could keep one hand on the floor for balance, especially if the hips are not on the floor, or you can take both hands and walk them down the strap towards the foot. Ekapada Rajakapotasana. One leg king pigeon. So again, it's just that overhead grip is a lot more in the shoulders. It's a deep back bend as well. Sometimes this one is easier than the dancer pose because I don't have to stand on one leg and balance at the same time. At least I'm seated on the floor. Good. Whichever variation you had with or without the strap, let it go. Straighten that leg. And then now you can just fold over your front leg. If your hips are pretty open, you can move your right shin more forward. Flexing the foot, maybe at most about a 90-degree angle. However, if it bothers your knee, keep your foot in closer or lay on your back for lying down number 4 if that still bothers your knee. Okay, folding forward. You should mostly feel it in that right outer hip. You're still going to feel it in your back as well, countering what we just did. Now walking the hands in, we're going to take that same chaturanga up dog, down dog to help us reset. So step back to your plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale to up dog or cobra. Exhale to down dog. Take a moment and reset in your down dog. Then we'll switch sides, lifting that left leg up, bringing that knee forward for pigeon, but starting upright and then keeping that left foot close to you because it'll be easier to balance and easier to do this first part. Left hand on the floor, maybe right hand just grabs that right foot and starts to pull it in towards you, which is a pretty good quad stretch, also a little bit in that shoulder as well. Or if you want to use your strap, you take your strap, loop it around the right foot and start with it in the right hand, bringing that elbow up, maybe keeping the hand on the floor, or maybe walking both hands down the strap. One leg king pigeon pose. And again, it might not just be your back that limits this pose. Remember, it could be the hip flexor, the quads, it could be the shoulders, it could be the back. There's a lot of different things being stretched in this pose. And again, releasing that foot or releasing the strap off to the side. Square your hips to the front, fold forward for pigeon. If you adjusted the foot on the other side, if you moved it a little bit away from you, doing so here, or if you laid on your back for that lying down four, repeating that as well. So you could even out your hips on the left side. Start to walk your hands in. We're going to take our very final chaturanga. So step back to plank. Exhale, one last chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. And then exhale into your final down dog. Checking in here, noticing how it feels compared to the beginning of your practice. Maybe getting those heels a little closer to the floor or just pushing the chest back a little more. Then step to the front, have a seat. We're going to roll onto our back just for a couple more back bends for some bridge and wheel. Remember that if you don't feel comfortable with wheel, you can stay with bridge, but maybe because we've done more back bends today, you might feel like you can work up to your wheel. So once you lay down, bring your feet about hips width distance apart. All 10 toes point forward. Ideally, if you can, you want to be able to just barely touch your heels with your longest finger. Then lift the hips up. You can hold it here or interlace the fingers, wiggle your shoulders underneath, and push your arms down so you get that chest opening here in your bridge. Good, unlace and come down. Now we're going to do two more back bends. You might try your wheel or Dvanurasana, or you might stay with bridge. If you're going for wheel, take your fingertips, point them towards your shoulders, elbows up. If your shoulders feel tight, take your hands a little wider apart. Same goes for the feet. You can also widen the feet. Lift your hips, push up to the top of the head. Maybe stay there or maybe push into your hands to lift your head off the floor, maybe straightening the arms or even one day thinking about straightening the legs. Take a couple breaths. And then when you're ready, carefully tuck your chin, come down one vertebra at a time. So it's a pretty deep back bend, but sometimes the first one is still kind of just loosening it up. So that's why I like to do it a second time because it might feel a little better the second time. So you pick very last back bend for this practice, bridge or wheel or any other variations. So if you come up to your wheel, some of you might feel comfortable lifting one leg up in the air or other options. Pick what works for you for this final back bend. When you've taken a couple breaths, you carefully come down and we'll meet in a lying down butterfly. Supta Baddha Konasana. Soles of the feet together, knees open wide, hands either on the floor, the stomach, or maybe overhead. This pose helps to bring the natural curve of the spine back, just letting it reset after that deep back bend. Also, you should notice back bends, especially like wheel, they make your heart rate go up. So this pose will help bring that heart rate down. Try to slow down your breathing. Beginning to cool things off here in our practice. When you're ready, coming into a happy baby, grabbing for the inside edges of the feet. Now you can lengthen your tailbone down and try to flatten out your back on the mat. Push down with your hands to create that hip opening, and then add a little rock side to side, massaging your back as you open up the hips. And hug both knees into your chest. Rock and roll 2 or 3 times until you're ready to come up to seated. Since we did so many back bends, we'll do some forward folds to help counter it. Sitting up tall, extend your legs out straight and flex your feet. Sit up tall, reach those arms up. Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold. If you have that strap and you can't reach your feet, you can always put the strap around your feet, or you can grab whatever you can reach, legs, ankles, wrists, whatever you can find there. Keep the feet flexed, drop your head, relax your neck. So you're gonna feel that stretch in the hamstrings and the calves, but also in your back, countering all the back bends with a forward bend. Slowly come up. You might have to adjust what way you're facing, but open your legs in a V for a seated straddle splits. Try to wiggle them as far apart as you can and flex your feet. Take your right hand, either grab the leg or the right foot, reach your left arm over, looking under that armpit to the ceiling, that side body stretch in your straddle splits. Good, over to the other side. And as you come up, keep the feet flexed, walk your hands forward and fold forward. Seated straddle splits, Upavishta Konasana. Start to walk your hands back in. Carefully shake out those legs and guide them back together. And then just make sure you have room to roll back down onto your back. Hugging your knees into your chest, rocking a little side to side. Maybe draw a couple small circles on your lower back, moving the knees in both directions. And let's place both feet on the floor. Open your arms out to a T. Take your right leg, cross it all the way over the left, so that your right knee is over your left. Move your hips first 1 or 2 inches to the right to help line up the spine, and then drop the knees to the left. So right leg is crossed on top, but your knees are twisting to the left and your gaze turns to the right. So it's a cross-legged version of our spinal twist. If that's too much or uncomfortable for you, you can uncross the legs. But it gives you a little bit deeper hip and lower back stretch having the legs crossed. Let's bring the legs through center and now switch the cross of the legs. Left leg goes over the right. Move your hips an inch or 2 to the left first. Drop the knees to the right side and turn your gaze to the left side, taking that spinal twist on this side. If you did a different variation on the first side, just making sure you even it out here. Let's bring everything back to center. Uncross the legs and wrap your arms around your shins. Pull your forehead up to your knees. Curl yourself up into a nice tight little ball. And let everything go as you come into your Shavasana, your final relaxation. Extending the legs out long, letting the feet fall open. Arms relax alongside you, palms facing up. Try to shrug your shoulders down away from your ears to keep the neck long. And as you close your eyes, clear away any last remaining thoughts. Take a nice deep inhale through your nose. Exhale all the air out the mouth, letting go of your Ujjayi breath, just finding that normal, relaxed breathing and letting your muscles relax deeper into the floor. Slowly begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Bring some small movements back to your body. Maybe draw a couple circles with the wrists and ankles, moving them in both directions. Maybe gently moving your head a little side to side. Anything that feels good to you. And when you feel ready, reach those arms overhead, or reach the legs long, create a nice full body stretch, getting as tall as you can. And keep the eyes closed, hug your knees into your chest, roll over to one side, coming into a fetal position. Then use the hands to help press you all the way up to seated, crossing the legs, sitting up tall. Hands come together at heart center, Anjali Mudra. And take a couple last deep breaths here. Scanning your body, noticing how it feels after your yoga practice this morning. Let's take one more nice deep inhale through the nose. Exhale all the air out the mouth, letting it go. Lifting your hands to your forehead, your third eye center, and bowing forward. Namaste.